Welcome to the Houston Roundball Review Takeover for June 26, 2025, in the year of our Lord. The Takeover, powered by JM&E. I'm, of course, KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. The Takeover, you're watching it on Twitch, but also on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, and, of course, on Roku via the BS3 Network. If you have a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If not, just go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. My plan for today's show kind of changed. I was going to talk a little bit more Rockets news. Kevin Durant is a Rocket, will be official July 6th. Fred VanVleet agreed to a new contract, benefit him and the Rockets. But this morning, Thursday morning, the Big 12 and the Big 10 and PayPal announced a partnership, and that is a key word, partnership, not necessarily a sponsorship, but a partnership among the three parties. So let's get into that first, and then I'll play the infamous clip from head coach Ime Udoka after the Rockets lost in Minnesota. And Ime made a very pointed comment that now is a further indication of why Kevin Durant is a Houston Rocket. But first things first, Big 12 and the Big 10. Willie Gibson, I got to say Big 12 first because my motto is in the Big 12 and yours is in the Big 10. But this morning, PayPal Holdings, Inc. announced a multi-year agreement with the Big 10 and Big 12 conferences that will modernize the distribution of institutional payments from universities to student assets in a new revenue sharing model. The new institutional payments initiative enables athletic departments to seamlessly dispense payments through PayPal, ensuring a secure, efficient, and transparent way to distribute funds to payees. With the funds in their wallets, students will have the option to access all the benefits of PayPal's commerce ecosystem, from seamlessly buying tickets to a sporting event or purchasing their books for the year at the university bookstore. I'm going to do this. Acknowledge the greeting from the queen of the Houston Roundball Review, Mrs. Wanda Polk. Good afternoon to you too, Queen. Thank you as always for your support and for watching the show. The recent NCAA versus House settlement, which allows colleges and universities to share revenue directly with student assets, stands to revolutionize college sports. This partnership helps make that real by distributing those funds to student assets in a fast, simple, and secure way. This next part I wanted to include from the press release because I kind of caught my eye. Venmo on campus. Venmo will be the presenting partner of the first ever Big 10 rivalry series, spanning football, men's and women's basketball, embedding the brand in some of the most iconic matchups in college sports. That is for you, Willie Gibson. But for me and Miss Wanda, with the Big 12, Venmo will serve as the official partner of the Big 12 conference across Big 12 football, basketball, and Olympic sports championships for both men and women. Venmo will also be seen across all 16 institutions' athletic events. The first phase of the rollout is expected to begin this summer, when student assets can begin receiving institutional payments from institutions through PayPal. Venmo will kick off college conference sponsorships for the 25-26 school year, beginning with football season and on-campus activations. Tuition payments through PayPal are expected to launch in early 2026. So, Miss Wanda, what do you think about that? And everyone else watching on Roku or the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. I want to play some audio from Commissioner Yormark's appearance on CNBC from this morning. He and PayPal CEO Alex Chriss made the rounds during the car wash, making the rounds announcing the agreement between PayPal, Big 10, and Big 12. And I have some footage of, that's a good question. Rex, 1 second. Rex asks, whoops, right, let me get right here. Rex asks, isn't PayPal and Venmo competing payment services? Not really. I think Venmo is part of PayPal now, and Venmo is more of the mobile app peer-to-peer payments, whereas PayPal, in addition to personal, also offers it for business payments as well. So it's interesting that the tie-in, and Commissioner Yormark provides a few more details about it and explains a little bit more than I can. So, going to play some of his interview segment. I posted a link to the entire interview segment, CNBC segment, on the Houston Roundball Review Facebook page, as well as my Blue Sky account, and also my Threads account, also via Folks Talking Sports. So different, and I think I linked it as well on X, Twitter. But here you go. Here is some audio from Commissioner Yormark, and the voices you'll hear also are the PayPal CEO, Alex Chriss, as well as co-hosts from the CNBC Morning Show, Becky Quick and Joe Kernan. So let me get that going here, and reminding to you, you are watching this edition of the Houston Roundball Review, Takeover of the Lunch Break, Throwback Thursday style, streaming live on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, and also on Roku via the BS3 Network. Here are some comments from Big 12 Commish, Brett Yormark.
Over the last 14 months, we've been on an incredible journey with PayPal, trying to find out where they could enter the ecosystem. And with RevShare and how ubiquitous PayPal and Venmo are on campuses and in collegiate athletics lives of our student athletes, it made incredible sense to have them partner with us as we pay our student athletes. When you think about PayPal and Venmo, the first and second most popular mobile payment apps in the U.S. There's 400 million customers globally when you think of consumers and merchants. So it just made so much sense given how they already infuse campus life. I was given a number the other day. There's 19.8 million student athletes across the country, and almost half currently use Venmo. And we needed a platform and a partner that was safe and reliable. And we found it with PayPal and Venmo. And Alex, I want to thank you and your entire team for all your hard work and for being on this journey with us. And it's a great day today for the Big 12, our student athletes, our campuses, the families of our student athletes. So thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate it. And again, tremendous partnership. And as you said, this is now an opportunity to distribute funds to students, but that's not something that schools know how to do, but it's something that PayPal does every day. And so our ability to distribute funds, our ability to now give students in the wallet that they use every day, right? Again, over half of college students are already using Venmo.
I didn't think about it though. It probably would have been an administrative nightmare for each of these schools to figure out how to pay these students.
This is what we do. And so our ability to move money, distribute these funds, not only the rev share, but then ultimately NIL deals as well. And then, this money is going into wallets that college students use every day. It's what their parents are putting money in for. It's what they're splitting the pizza at lunch with their teammates for. And they'll soon be able to make payments on their tuition as well.
So how does this work? Do you pay them to do these services, or is this like a branding opportunity for you to be able to say that you're doing this?
It's a fully integrated partnership that benefits, obviously, the brand of PayPal and Venmo, but also the conferences. They're not a vendor, they're a true partner. and they will be in the ecosystem. And today, obviously, we're announcing, conference participation. But I would imagine that over time, this partnership will be infused throughout campuses all across the country.
So that means you're not paying them, it's a
platform.
partnership and they get something out of it too?
What's that?
You're not paying them to do it?
No, we're not paying them.
No, and think
This
about
is a
the partnership.
where you get the branding.
And on top of that, so think about the branding. Not only is this for college students on campus, but think of all the alumni that have come to these amazing Big 12 schools. We'll be offering Venmo debit cards.
Just for
that
the
are
student
branded.
athletes, or is that
no,
for
this is
anybody
for
who
anyone.
wants to get
For anyone on
alum?
campus, any alumni that can come in
You did
and
that for
sign
me,
up.
didn't you?
Absolutely.
That's why you asked.
Colorado, they're right there for you. We've got them for every one of the schools to be able to allow a student to be able to come in, an alumni to be able to come in. This is great branding for us. And again, this is the financial instrument for the next generation.
And we even have one at the conference level, which we're excited about. But it's a great day for the student athletes, and I am sure other conferences are going to embrace this opportunity. I was told last night the ACC is up next, so you're going to see this program roll out across campuses throughout this country, and I think it's the right thing to do. And again,
did you go to them, or did they come to you?
Well, that's a great question. When I came on board at the Big 12, I wanted to try to create some meaningful strategic partnerships that could integrate what the schools are doing with the conference and go into the marketplace with a real good business solution. And we started talking 14 months ago. We weren't intending to land where we did today, but it's a great brand. Alex had just taken over. They were looking to reimagine and reinvent their business, no different than we are.
I mean, you've got the demographic that everybody wants. Young people at the start of their career.
It's a young, very coveted demographic. It's a great point. And they're already culturally relevant and connecting with that demographic, so that was ideal for us. But it's a very strategic partnership, and I think you're going to see us do more and more things like this, where campuses and the conference come together and provide great brands with solutions like we have here with PayPal.
There you have it. Comments from Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark earlier this morning on CNBC, along with PayPal CEO Alex Chris and CNBC morning co-hosts Becky Quick and Joe Kernan, discussing the Big 12 and Big 10 partnership with PayPal, initially for payments, distribution of payments to the student assets, as I say, regarding the House settlement agreement. I want to acknowledge Internet Passport. Thank you very much for this comment, my man. I appreciate that. And CA37, your comment, not yet. Not yet. You say right here, the Venmo 12 conference, question mark. No, this is a partnership. It's more branding for PayPal, branding for Venmo. As you heard in the comments, there will be Venmo debit cards for each of the member institutions in the Big 12, the 16 schools, to get a Venmo card. So that's branding for them. But Rex32 made an excellent comment. Hopefully, the athletes transfer the funds to an actual bank. PayPal is not FDIC insured. Correct. As soon, when I am fortunate enough to receive a monetary payment, a gift, donation, contribution via PayPal, I transfer that bad boy to my bank. No question. With the quickness. Miss Wanda says to Rex, hopefully that will be part of the financial literacy that most schools have. I hope so. I mean, I know Coach Sampson has mentioned it to media here in town many times, that they have financial literacy classes for his players and members of his team. I hope that's part of it, because, PayPal, Venmo is convenient. It sure is. Peer-to-peer payments. Yeah, that's all nice and good. But as Rex said again, I'm going to put it up there. Unless Rex and I are wrong and things have changed, PayPal is not FDIC insured. That's a big deal to me. And I like to have that access to my money in case something goes wrong, payments disputed, whatever. I've heard horror stories about folks wanting to close an account on PayPal or wanting to do something and not being able to get it. Can't retrieve. Nope, forget all that. I don't want to do all that. So, but the partnership agreement, Big 12, Big 10 with PayPal makes sense for convenience. It makes sense for the college students, the student assets, ease of receiving, ease of payment. But just do your research, do your homework, and know the other levels involved with PayPal. And, part of it may involve some fees that are higher than your actual bank as well. So a lot of different things to consider. You're watching this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E, the takeover of the lunch break, the takeover of Throwback Thursday. On the lunch break, the show is streaming live on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel and also via AJ's Twitch channel, and also, just as important, on Roku via the BS3 Network. Want to play this? Teased it. Only about 70 seconds, maybe a minute into his comments after the Rockets' road loss to Minnesota, in which Minnesota came from behind, Rockets came from ahead, whatever you want to say. Some comments from Rockets head coach Ime Udoka. The first voice you hear is from the Houston Chronicles' Danielle Lerner, the Chronicles Rockets beat writer. Danielle has been a guest on the Roundball Review, colleague of mine. So she's asking the question, and then you'll hear Ime, his answer, and then toward midway through it, a very telling remark. Check it out.
Ime, how was Anthony Edwards able to have the impact that he did on the game, not just at the end, but in getting to the line as much as he did throughout the game?
Well, the first quarter we were extremely soft on him, and he got way too comfortable. Didn't follow the game plan as far as how we wanted to guard him, and went under a bunch of pick and rolls early. Obviously, he's number one in the league in attempted threes off the dribble and percentage-wise, so let him get in the rhythm there. Obviously, 18 early in the first half, 8 free throws first quarter, so got after it better in the second quarter. He only had 3 points there, went after him a little bit, but when we went after him fourth, couldn't trap him, couldn't guard him one-on-one, couldn't get through pick and rolls, and so it's nice to have a special player that can get buckets at the end.
There were a few confrontations throughout the game. Do you feel like emotions running high played any role in this?
I'm mute myself. It's nice to have a special player that can get buckets at the end. That's from Rockets head coach Ime Udoka a few months ago after the Rockets' road loss to Minnesota when Timberwolves guard Anthony Edwards took over. It's nice to have a special player that can get buckets at the end of games. Well, this is old news, but y'all know what happened on Sunday. The Rockets and the Suns agreed to the trade, sending Kevin Durant to the Rockets in exchange for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 10th pick, who is now Common Malawach. That's good for the Suns. In the first round yesterday, Wednesday night, and 5 second-round picks, including the 59th pick tonight's draft, 2 second-round picks in 2026, Boston's 2030 pick, and the Rockets' 2032 pick. Would you say, Senior Buble, Wanda, Rex, Internet Passport, CA37, would you say Kevin Durant is a special player who can get buckets at the end of games? I would say so. I think so. And I believe it I've said it on previous shows this week on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Ime got his man. He got his guy in KD. He pushed to get KD. And once he got that agreement for the contract extension as head coach, that was on Thursday. That was last week. And 3 days later, Kevin Durant is a Rocket. So most definitely, Kevin Durant is a special player, is the answer to that, my question. Special player who can get buckets at the end. Great move for Kevin Durant. Short term for the Rockets as well. Terry, oh, this is new for you, Terry. Indeed, he is one of the best in the league. And from New Zealand, Terry chimes in from New Zealand. Good morning to you too, sir. How about that? New Zealand, Terry chiming in. Usually when he chimes in, it's, evening? Let's see, 9-hour difference. So yeah, it's evening for you. So yeah, but good evening to you, Terry. Thank you for doing this, my man. Appreciate that. Internet Passport states, Houston won that trade. Durant is a hired mercenary whose jersey will never be retired by any team. That's you bring up a good statement. Will the Warriors retire KD's jersey because he was part of a championship team? Will OKC retire his jersey? Well, as Internet Passport states, will any NBA team retire his jersey? If KD leads the Rockets to an NBA championship, one to y'all tell me, would one championship be enough in your mind, your opinion, for the Rockets to retire KD's jersey? Ah, yes, but Rex, you said Shaq. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. I don't know. Somebody Google that for us and let us know. We got time here. A few more minutes on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break. Throwback Thursday style, powered by JMNE. Comment from Senior Bublé. I like that. I think he has a chance to earn a jersey retirement in H-Town. I was going to ask you, what will it take? Audience, family, 2+ rings in Houston for KD to get for the Rockets organization to retire his jersey. Will it take 2? 1 isn't enough. One won't be enough, even though it's been 30 years since the Rockets last won an NBA championship. You a hard man. you want 2, but that's fair. I mean, we're talking about a jersey retirement. You know, James Harden won't win a ring with the Rockets, but for what he did here, do y'all agree that his jersey should be retired? His Rocket jersey should be retired? All right, Rex did some checking and says Shaq jersey retired in Miami and Orlando. So Rex, does that change your opinion? If KD leads the Rockets to just one championship, will that be enough to, in your opinion, have his jersey retired, his Rockets jersey retired, or will it take more than one? And of course, other Rocket news. Rex says, so KD might get 3 retired jerseys: Golden State, OKC, and Houston. So it'd be a nice problem to have. I think y'all agree, if you are Rocket fans, the fact we're talking about Kevin Durant having his Rocket jersey retired would indicate that he led the Rockets to a championship. So Next on the news, for Rocket News, in a deal beneficial to both parties, Houston Rockets guard Fred VanVleet intends to sign a 2-year, $50 million contract to stay with the Rockets with a player option in 26-27. The Rockets are declining VanVleet's $44.9 million team option for the 25-26 season. VanVleet's new deal gives the Rockets flexibility over the next year and gives him the opportunity to enter the 2026 free agency market, where there will be more salary cap space for more teams. So I think that is great news. Well, I did that twice, but there you go. Good news for Fred VanVleet. And the kicker, the important part of it also, is the Rockets now have more room to sign. They got the $14.1 million, the non-taxpayer mid-level exception, worth $14.1 million, to go after another player. I think some folks talked about, this morning I saw Brook Lopez as a possibility. I don't know if that's kind of redundant, even if the Rockets do waive Jock Landale, and they probably will do that before June 29th. But with $14.1 million, I'm going to toss a name out here for Miss Wanda and for you as well. But do y'all think $14.1 million starting salary for year one be enough for Quentin Grimes to say, hey, I'll take that. I'll sign with the Rockets. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Would y'all like that? Question for me? Yeah. Do I think the Rockets will extend Tari and Jabari this offseason? Tari, yes. Jabari probably, I think, will bet on himself and wait till next summer. Now, of course, if the Rockets make Jabari in his opinion, in his rep's opinion, reasonable offer, he'll sign this offseason. But I think of the two of them, Tari most likely this offseason, Jabari just a little less likely. Be great if they both agree and sign contract extensions this summer. But of the two, I'll say Tari is out of on a scale of 1 to 100. Tari's probably 80%. Jabari 60%. Something like that. But that's also another nice problem to have. Near the bottom of the hour on today's edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. Oh, Rex, you know how I'm going to answer this, or you should know. I'll say it like this. I am a University of Houston alum. I'll leave it at that. A very, 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 very proud graduate from the University of Houston. So I'm excited for what they're going to do. What the Rockets do, I'm going to cover them. But in terms of excitement, I'm not a fan of the Rockets. I'm a fan of the Pistons. I love my Coogs. So that's two different things. But for the city, I hope both of them win a championship. But as the Rockets go far, that's good for me. That should be good for me in the Houston Roundball Review. That's where we just got to get the connection with the local businesses to advertise here on this show, on Let's Talk Houston Rockets, on the Houston Roundball Review many platforms, website, YouTube, blog, etc. And speaking of platforms, one of the platforms for today's show is the BS3 Network. And I'm going to play the promo to give you an idea, a better idea of what BS3 TV, BS3 Network is all about. And we'll be back. I'll be back in 90 seconds. You're watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the lunch break on Throwback Thursday, powered by JM&E and also by the BS3 Network. I am KG Chris Gardner. See you in 90 seconds.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the lunch break, Throwback Thursday style, powered by JM&E, and streaming live on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel and also on Roku. Yes, on Roku via the BS3 Network. First part of the show is done. Opening segment talked about the news regarding the Big 12, Big 10, and PayPal partnership. Then played the clip from Ime Udoka saying it's nice to have a special player who gets buckets at the end of games. And then lo and behold, Rockets make the trade and get KD, Kevin Durant. Rockets also will announce the agreement with Fred VanVleet, a 2-year deal worth $50 million with a team option on year 2. A player option on year 2. Benefit Fred on that one. So Fred takes less money this season, which should help the Rockets pursue another free agent player with some good money to pay that person. Last thing, one of those players I talked about, mentioned as a possibility, Quentin Grimes. Queen Polk stated, if the Rockets will do Q right, she would love for him to be back in H-Town. Rex, what do you think about that? Senor Bublé, how about you? Would you like to see Quentin Grimes? Who would you like the Rockets to get out of the two I named? Brook Lopez or Quentin Grimes? Like I said, Brook Lopez kind of seems redundant to me. I mean, he's an upgrade over Jock Landale, but Steven Adams will get the job done down low. And do you need Brook Lopez if you have Steven Adams? Most definitely Q. All right. These last 25 minutes or so, 20 minutes and some change, I want to spread the love around, mention a few other teams, Big 12 team, but also this as well. Putting on my business crown. Here's a picture of the online Houston Roundball Review business directory with the current advertisers listed in the directory. The African Center of Wellness of Wellbeing, Bayou Beat, B-League Basketball, Pantaleon Law Firm, Pruitt in the Heights, Star Pizza, Byron Riley CPA, Tejas Brewery, United Sports and Entertainment, VIP Realty, and of course, The Rock star supporter of Let's Rage Coogs and the Houston Roundball Review, Steve Saxenian and the Saxenian family. Want to advertise in the directory or advertise on the shows? Email me. Advertise at TheHRR.com. Advertise at TheHRR.com. Advertise at TheHRR.com. Directory right there in the bit.ly. It's also in the description. Put it on the screen, the link of it via bit.ly. So different ways to reach me, see how it looks. I want to have as many pages of sponsors in the directory as humanly possible. So don't get it twisted. Internet is a beautiful thing. Help me help you. And as I like to say now, reach thousands for less than $1 a week. This show streams on Facebook, or shows is seen on Facebook, on Roku, on Blue Sky, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. I get it out there. Next, I am happy to say this. I want to discuss this. Oh, let me get this comment up before we get to the Rice Owls news. Senior Buble says, believes those minutes should be Cam Whitmore's, but he would take Grimes over Lopez. I agree. Cam Whitmore, it's your time, young fella. It's your time to shine. It's your time to earn those minutes and keep those minutes. Back to the Rice Owls. On Monday, Rice Athletics announced the members of its 41st Hall of Fame class, which will be formally inducted this fall. I'm going to say the names, but there's one person in particular I've known for probably more than half his life. But here are the inductees. Pam Brooks, class of 94. Michael Downs, class of 81. Penny Goff, class of 85. Brittany Massengale, class of 2009. John Warren, class of 1988. Nicole, formerly Aleskowicz, now Wilkerson, class 93, and Mike Wilkes, class of 01. They'll take their place among Rice's greatest athletes and be inducted into the Rice Athletics Hall of Fame on Friday, October 24th. Former women's tennis co-captain, Juana Hadnot, class of 84, will receive the Distinguished R Award for her lifetime of support to Rice Athletics, and Dr. Jimmy Ditch, Associate Professor Emeritus in the Department of Sport Management at Rice, will receive the honorary R for his more than 50 years of service to the Owls. Internet Passport, thank you for this. Appreciate this. As a note and a reminder, remember to like and share the video. By all means, do so, please. If you're not currently a subscriber to the channel, become one. But also like the vids on this channel, especially today's show you're watching right now, and then share it on your social media platforms also. And of course, click on that bell so you can be notified, receive notifications when new shows are posted, like probably Friday night's next edition of Let's Talk Houston Rockets, 9 o'clock Central Time. Mike Wilkes is that dude. I knew Mike, started covering Rice. Ooh, wow. 2000, 99, something like that. But Mike Wilkes, a first team all WAC. Yes, he's been around that long. All WAC selection as a senior. Wilkes became a dominant player in his final 2 seasons at Rice, developing into a player who went on to play 7 seasons in the NBA and was part of an NBA championship squad in San Antonio in 2005. Wilkes was recruited by Willis Wilson in 1997 out of Milwaukee, to run the Owls offense as a point guard, and then took on a greater scoring role, scoring over 900 points in his final 2 seasons. He was named WAC Player of the Year by College Insider after averaging 20.1 points per game and being named to the All-WAC team as well as the All-WAC the WAC All-Defensive Team as a senior. He ranks second at Rice in career steals, 8th in career minutes played, 9th in career assists, and 19th in scoring. He was also a standout in the classroom, earning WAC All-Academic Team honors, and was named the winner of the 2001 Bob Quinn Award, presented annually to the male student athlete at Rice. For the past 6 years, he has served as an assistant coach for the OKC Thunder, and he added a second NBA title to his resume on Sunday night when OKC defeated Indiana to capture its first NBA championship. The 2025 Rice Athletics Hall of Fame induction ceremonies will be held at the Weston Medical Center on Friday evening on October 24th, and activities continue the following day with a pregame tailgate prior to the Rice-UConn football game, and all honorees will also be recognized on the field during the game. So congratulations to all the honorees, but Mike Wilkes is one of the best people. He is genuine. He is a great man, a great person, and to see his success, and a few times he comes, he's a scout for OKC, and on a few times we see each other at Rocket games when he's coming to scout an opponent, do some advanced scouting for the Thunder. It's good to catch up with him, to touch base with him, chop it up a little bit. He is the same person now that he was at Rice. He hasn't changed. He is just a great, down-to-earth human being. So I am happy for him, happy for his family. He's married, got kids. I feel old, but I am so proud of him, and I am going to try to attend the Hall of Fame ceremony in October if I can, to just be there for him, to when he receives that honor, and probably see some old teammates that he had at Rice, and we'll all get together and remember this, remember that, and on and on and on. But congrats to all of the inductees for this class, 41st class, but specifically to young Mr. Mike Wilkes. And he looks the same. He looked the same now than he did when he was at Rice. A few more pounds, but the same, looked the same. Next, a little different. But it's women's basketball. Baylor women's basketball to open season against Duke in Paris. Baylor women's basketball. And let me say this. I mentioned it a few weeks ago. If you are a regular viewer of the live stream shows on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, Commissioner Yormark said during his spring meetings with President Livingstone sitting next to him, Baylor President Livingstone sitting next to him, that Baylor will be playing in Paris. When he said that, he said it too soon. It was not supposed to be announced just yet. So I reached out to the Baylor media department and I asked him, I said, hey, are you guys playing in the Paris in 25? Yes, Chris, we are, but please don't say anything just yet until it's announced. I said, okay, no problem. Well, now that it's been announced. Okay. All right. It was announced officially last Thursday after last Thursday's live stream show of the Takeover. But now I'm going to bring it up, mention it again. Baylor women's basketball will open up the 25-26 season in Paris, France, playing Duke as part of the Oui-Play Paris doubleheader on November 3rd, as announced last Thursday by Complete Sports Management. The event, in its third edition and second consecutive as a doubleheader, will also feature Vanderbilt and California at Adidas Arena in the City of Lights. Oui-Play, love that play on words, debuted on November 6, 2023, with eventual national champion South Carolina defeating Notre Dame 171 at Halle Georges Carpentier Arena. The second Oui-Play played on November 4th, 2024 at Adidas Arena, saw UCLA get past Louisville 66-59 and Southern Cal edge Ole Miss 68-66. Just want to give some shine to Baylor, Coach Collin and her squad. Good luck to them. They're Big 12 schools, so I'm going to give them some love too. Big 12 schools. And, let me see. I got a few more slides, but I want to say this. Well, Rex, that's a good point. You are correct. We got Baylor and Duke in Paris, but we didn't get Houston and Kansas in Mexico City. Part of that, neither Coach Sampson nor Coach Bill Self were thrilled with having to give up a home game and have that game played in Mexico City. That's one of the factors. And I'm going to come back to this. I have a few more slides to share, these final moments. But yesterday, my colleague with CBS Sports, Matt Norlander, announced, and I have not yet seen it on the NCAA websites, either .com or .org, but the NCAA basketball committees voted to approve an extra game starting in 26-27. So college teams, men's and women's, can now play, starting next year, up to 32 regular season games. So conference play, so it's an extra non-conference game. So it's now 32. Rex and CA 37. Some point during this past season, Coach Sampson mentioned, why do we only play 31 games? Why don't we play more? We should play more. Give us more opportunities to play non-conference matchups. Well, small step forward. You got one. And I think in a few more years, you'll have maybe 34, 35, 36. Coach Sampson's comment months ago was, why not 40? Why do we only play 31? But one of the reasons, as we all know, money makes the world go round. You have that extra non-conference game. You could allow a non-conference matchup in February. Break up the routine of conference play. Some would say the monotony of conference play. So I'm just putting it out there. Wouldn't it be nice, Brother Al High, part of the BS3 family? Wouldn't it be nice? Just as an example, I have no idea. I'm not saying this is going to happen. That has been discussed. None of that. So don't put out there, Chris said this. Okay, no. This is just what if. But Al, Rex, Miss Wanda, and everybody watching, wouldn't it be nice if Houston faced Duke in February? First weekend in February. If that weekend became the non-conference, the second existence of non-conference, just have that first Saturday in February as the out-of-conference matchups. What if? Houston versus UConn. What if? Starting next season, you have, with the added extra game, you have some additional flexibility to see if that can happen. And one reason for it, make them home and homes. And you are correct, Brother Al. They used to do this, correct? They used to have that. I think it was the first Saturday in February. It was, I think, part of bracket busters kind of thing. But this will be, I'm talking about like the elite programs square off. like Houston Duke, Kansas UConn, Kansas Duke, Houston Marquette, Houston Michigan State, Houston whoever in February. Home and home. That way the home team can get some additional revenue, which everybody's going to need because of the house settlement. Another reason, money makes the world go round. We all know it. So that's a what if. But the NCAA competition committee voted to add an extra game starting next season, 26-27, for men's and women's basketball. And this is good too. I mean, for marketing purposes, make it a whole week. Make it easier for ESPN and Fox and CBS Sports and on and on and on. In March, you got championship week. First week in February, have whatever you want to call it. Non-con Battle of the Titans, whatever. I don't know, whatever. All right, rapid fire. Well, not kind of rapid fire, but just some more food for thought in these closing moments. I wanted to get to this one, if nothing else. South Carolina approves new athletic fees for students. This is via Jordan K. at the State in Columbia, South Carolina. As South Carolina's athletic department looks for new revenue streams in the wake of the House settlement, USC students will now foot a larger bill. For years, South Carolina has offered an optional, keyword optional, $86 athletics fee per semester, $172 annually, that allowed USC, South Carolina students to attend every Gamecock sporting event. Granted, students had to enter a lottery for the chance to attend football games. Those benefits will all remain for South Carolina students. Only the fee going forward is increasing to $300 annually and will no longer be optional. When accounting for the fact that South Carolina had around 38,300 students enrolled during the fall 24 semester, a mandatory $300 student athletics fee will generate nearly $11.5 million in revenue. According to South Carolina's Friday news release that announced the university's newly approved budget, the additional student fee revenue will not go toward the 50-plus athlete scholarships USC plans to add next year or toward the upcoming renovations for the stadium. It also won't be used for any of South Carolina's house settlement payouts, the school says. So what exactly is the $300 fee going toward? South Carolina says it will continue, quote, continue student access to athletics events, ticket lottery, address increased event/program operating costs, and enhance the student experience across multiple USC sporting venues. Enhancements will include student-centered in-game activity and promotions, facility upgrades, and additional support for health, safety, staffing at athletics events. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And another way, I agree with you, another way to squeeze working people. And let me be clear. Let me say this. I got to try to squeeze this in. I'm going to try to get to that real quick. I want to put this on back to my shiny bald head. The $300 mandatory fee apparently, reportedly, is in addition to the optional fee of $172. So it's a total of $472, not just $300 mandatory. Again, as my brother says, another way to squeeze working people. Final minutes of this one. Louisiana, the state of Louisiana, is poised to hike taxes on sports betting to pump more than $24 million into athletic departments at the state's most prominent public universities. Legislation pending before Governor Jeff Landry would make Louisiana the first state to raise taxes to fund college sports since the House settlement was approved. Anticipating the court's approval, Arkansas this year became the first to waive state income taxes on NIL payments made to athletes by higher education institutions. The Louisiana legislation won final approval just 2 days after Judge Wilkin approved the antitrust settlement between the NCAA and athletes, but it had been in the works for months. Athletic directors from many of Louisiana's universities met earlier this year and hashed out a plan with lawmakers to relieve some of their financial pressures by dividing a share of the state's sports betting tax revenue. Brother Al, thank you for this, man. Appreciate it. The biggest question for lawmakers was how large of a tax increase to support. The initial proposal sought to double the state's 15% tax on net proceeds from online sports betting, but lawmakers ultimately agreed on a 21.5% tax rate in a compromise with the industry. Ms. Wanda, thank as well, intentionally ambiguous. Rex, the state of Louisiana, would find ways to use sports betting to fund state schools, cough LSU. Last thing, 1/4 of the tax revenue from online sports wagering, an estimated $24.3 million, would be split equally, they say, among 11 public universities and conferences with Division I football programs. The money must be used, quote, for the benefit of student athletes, end quote, including scholarships, insurance, medical coverage, facility enhancements, and litigation settlement fees. The state tax money won't provide direct NIL payments to athletes, but it could facilitate that indirectly by freeing up university resources. The legislation passed overwhelmingly in the final days of Louisiana's annual session. Shocking. Shocking. I'm not going to say anything about the state of Texas and betting and their aversion to it, online betting. Anyway, thank you to Queen Wanda, Senior Buble, Rex 32, Al High, CA37, and everyone who watched on the Houston Roundball Review, today's edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the lunch break, Throwback Thursday, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Houston Roundball Review on YouTube and also on Roku via the BS3 Network. Wrapping it up, reminding you, hit the like button, share the video. Oh, Internet Passport, thank you as well for your comments and your time during the show. Hope you enjoyed it. Going to do it again next Thursday, hopefully. And we're going to have some more fun. Appreciate everybody for taking time out to participate in the discussion. Wrapping it up, as I always do. Since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. Everyone, take care. Peace.